Gaston, welcome to the Democratizing SEO podcast. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. Thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. I wanted to have a very in-depth, or should I say, conversational chat about generative AI and SEO. It's going to be very informal, just a nice conversation between two SEOs. As I like to do with all my SEO guests, I like to ask how they became an SEO in the first place. So with that said, how did you venture into becoming an SEO professional?
Oh man, that's long ago, because it's been like 11, 12 years. So yeah, originally I'm from Argentina. I'm now living in Australia, but Argentina has had several economic crises. It's going through one every 2-3 years. But anyways, that's nothing I can do about that. So I was during my uni years and I wanted to make money any way I could. So this was this thing. That's the internet. So this has to be some way to make money out of internet. That was my overarching thought. So I started Googling a lot and found a forum. Foro Beta, it's a very popular forum in Spanish. So you could just, if you have a website, you could sell your content or just sell links. And voila. I was a link seller, even though today I have very strong feelings about that. That's how I got into SEO. Many people were asking me to place links, to put a particular anchor text. I was like, why the heck people want to put that anchor text? And even more, my website was about technology, yet they wanted to rank something for food. That doesn't make sense. It's just weird. My engineering mind was like, okay, let's try to see if we can crackle this thing and see what's going on at that. And then I became kind of obsessed with the Google's algorithm. And yeah, that was just one way. Once in SEO, always in SEO, man.
Always in SEO. You say you have an engineering mindset. In what ways do you think that helped you venture into SEO, into loving SEO?
Well, to begin with, I am an engineer. I am a trained engineer. I worked as an engineer. I have my degree over there. My mom is very proud of that. And she's complaining that why I'm not working as an engineer, but that's a different topic. We could discuss in a few years. But to me, it's the engineering mind. It's about thinking that everything could be broken down into pieces and broken down into little problems. If you're able to think programmatically or just as a problem, you lean towards solutions and solution-based thinking. That's at least that's what I want to think about engineering. That's because in the end, everything could be seen as an algorithm, more or less complex. Google's algorithm could be the most efficient and the best public-facing algorithm that humanity has ever seen. I'm a true believer of that. For sure, there are other more advanced and many other things, but the impact that Google's algorithm has had in humanity is just massive.
Yeah, they've definitely been the most complex, and I think that's one of the reasons why SEOs focus on Google, because there's so many areas, so many, if you like, points that you can improve. If you think of it as levers, if you improve this lever, will it help your visibility? What about this lever? So there's so many, the complexity of it, I think, is what keeps it interesting for SEOs, especially SEOs who have a creative mindset. I mean, either whether you're someone who's let's say a content person or in your case an engineering person, there is something about SEO that triggers this curiosity, if you like, in one's mindset that makes them want to practice it.
I think I believe that what triggers most people's minds when it comes to Google and SEO is that the illusion or the idea that you could have reach with just a couple of clicks away. So you can have the reach of an entire country or entire industry or just an entire language. Imagine if you're posting in English, you have reach over the whole US, India, UK, Australia. It's just, you could reach 2 billion people if you're doing it right. The same with Spanish. It's so massive. You have so much power, so much reach that it blows your mind once you understand a little bit how reach goes when it comes to organic. And it's virtually free. It's the cheapest way of reach that we could have, I would say.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Would you say you have a preferred pillar of SEO, or does it depend on what one's business needs?
That's a good question. I personally like doing things at scale, programmatic SEO, or just working in very large websites, data and information organization, or just working with large amount of data. I like to think that I like what drives me to do more of SEO is being able to change people's lives through the work that I'm doing. So the companies that I've been working at, and when I was a consultant, it's just all companies that are through their services or through their products, they are helping people. With SEO, you can amplify and increase several orders of magnitude the impact that those companies can have. Of course, it could be used in a good way and in a bad way. I like to think that I'm doing it in a good way, at least the way that is aligned with my values.
Right. You mentioned link building earlier. I am sure, as someone who works client side, I'm sure you have a lot to say around link building. What is your overall thoughts on the practice of link building?
Let's see. How much time do you have?
as long as you want.
Look, the short idea, the short rant about it to me is just link building is the best lever that we have, but also the most dangerous lever that we also have. And 90+% of companies, people, or just whoever does link building doesn't fully understand the power that they have. And it's just a big money-making business outside the company, because it's just buying and selling links is a business nowadays. It's just, it's like buying and selling houses or buying and selling anything. It's just, if you are a middleman, then you know who wants links and who has places to sell the links. That's it. You're making money. I was one of those middlemen. Then I ended up having my own PBN with 300 websites, but I shouldn't be saying that. I'm saying that I shouldn't be saying that because I have the lucky and the luxury to being a Google product expert, and I have signed a few NDAs and things like that from Google. And it's just Google's official word is don't buy links, and I used to sell links, so it's conflicting.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, like a double-edged sword, or better yet, I think the words you use, dangerous, I think that's very appropriate for link building, because it's necessary, especially within particular industries. It's I would say the leading pillar of SEO. Maybe technical remains a leading pillar, but in terms of what moves the dial, link building. It has to be link building. There's no two ways about it. And the issue is it's against Google's guidelines. Yet, if you want to gain high visibility on Google, you have to acquire links. And the very act, I would say, of acquiring links is against Google's guidelines. It doesn't matter the method, technique, it's just against their guidelines.
Well, we should invite a lawyer to this conversation because there's a big gray area around that, right? The challenge is the verb that we use when we are talking about links. Are we acquire them? When we acquire them, how do we acquire them? Is it just relationship based? Is it money transactional based? Is it just that we are such a great product that people are just linking to us because we are a great product? What if we are a company that has a product that builds something specifically for link building purposes, like a tool, like, I don't know, the canvas of the world, or just an infographic study. Many of those things are done for SEO purposes, SEO, aka acquiring links. But those are organic, which there's nothing organic there. It's just manipulating what we know about society, what we know about people. If you are good enough, people are gonna link to you. Or if you are benevolent enough, giving them money or giving them something, they are also gonna link to you. So this is a long way of saying that link building is okay and it's not okay. People should search within themselves and their values and how fast they're gonna go, how the risk-reward ratio that they have in their companies. Many things. I've been in companies that they were penalized because they were too aggressive and they lost millions of dollars. There were other companies that earned millions of dollars because they were being aggressive. It's complex. Yeah. Do I want to do link building? Do I like doing link building? No. I prefer hiring a team of experts, outreach people. In the company that I'm working right now, we do have a team of those people. They're doing a great job, but it's trying to stay as close to the guidelines as we can, as compliant. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking at. As compliant to the guidelines as we can.
Yeah, totally agree.
So, yeah.
It's an area that I think will continue to be controversial. It's the most controversial area of SEO. And with so go ahead.
Yes, I think it will always be controversial unless Google changes the way internet works. And it's not going to be Google who's changing that. The way internet works, internet was designed 50 years ago or even longer, is link-based. That's the relationship. That's how we surf through the web. So we need links. That's how we associate. That's how many theories about information retrieval, information links, information connection, entities, many other things that were not initially developed by Google, but they were developed by scientists before Google even existed. Those ideas, those mathematical things and science behind that is how we know. And it took us thousands of years to get to here. I don't think we're going to change the way we understand information, that we organize information in the next 10, 20, 50 years. Also, that is how Google was built. Google needs links because they are a link provider too. In a different way, because they have the 10 blue links. It's just links. It's there.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, you see, this is a very passionate topic of mine.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because when I saw that Google's I/O presentation several weeks ago now, when I saw their GSE, I should say, it was one of the things that I noticed is that organic results are pushed down, and within the GSE experience, I didn't see any links, which was very, I don't know, maybe it's because of I'm an SEO, my eyes naturally gravitated to where are the links. What were your thoughts around GSE or around GSE?
Around GSE, it's fantastic. I think it's an advancement, and it would make life easier for billions of people. As a user of Google, I think that's awesome. I think in a couple of years, we will not notice if it's actually Google, if it's GSE, of how the information is actually sourced. As an SEO, I think it's just crappy. Why is it crappy? Because we need to see Google's intentions. Google is a company that needs to make money, and it is potentially the most successful company in the last 20, 25 years of humanity At least if we put in the same balance, money that they're making, how much they changed lives, and how we changed around Google. Having that in mind, Google is a company that let's say in the last 5, 6, 7 years, they shifted the experience on search. Instead of they providing a path to the source of whatever you're searching for, they want to be the source. They want to be where people stay, because it's a battle for attention. The more attention that you have on people, the more money you can make. And we are in the money making business, so they want to sell ads. That's at some point was like 90% of the revenue a couple of years ago. So yeah, they want to keep selling ads.
Yeah. Who would you say are Google's biggest competitor these days? From a non-paid point of view.
Are you saying as a organic as a search engine?
Yeah. So background to what I'm thinking. For several weeks now, I've been pondering on this, the question of why. Like I wanted to delve very deeply into why Google is making all these changes to the SERPs, because it's a huge change, right? It's like Microsoft going from Windows 7 to Windows 10. It's a big jump, right? The way it works is changing for Google, for users, and also for marketers, us SEOs. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if Google are the leading, they have the leading market share from a search point of view. Is it a case of they want to keep their market share? I mean, I don't think Bing, Yahoo are that much of a concern for Google. So I started to think about social media. And my theory around why these changes are happening is because of social media, if you like, spurred on by the revolution that AI is bringing. I think there is social media and search, they share the same audience. And if you look at social media platforms like TikTok, they have a search elements to it. And TikTok specifically are prompting people to search for stuff on TikTok. So they're going after that market share. And my belief is this is what's influencing Google to make changes and to make them quickly. Otherwise, it's a huge concern for them.
I think you're onto something. I think that makes total sense. Building on top of that, I would say that Google needs to change in the same way that Microsoft needed to change Windows. They need to change to keep so users don't get too used to the platform, too used to, because you want, again, you're fighting for attention the same way TikTok wants everyone to stay on the platform, and it's stupidly addictive. That's what they do best. Google wants to do the same thing, but if you maintain the same app, the same UI, the same structure, same aesthetic, everything for more than a couple of years, people get used to it. And if you get used to that, you stop appreciating it. A nice example that I would have that I'm coming up is, imagine that you're living in the Swiss Alps. You live there, the view from your window are the Alps. It's amazing that if very, very, really nice view that if you're living there, you get used to it and you stop appreciating that much. As is someone that goes there once in their life, they're just mesmerized by it. So you want it to keep changing, at least as a product perspective. This is my opinion. I never heard anyone from Google say that. Just to clarify, sure. To me, they want to keep people in their toes, saying, "Hey, this is cool. We are changing. We are improving. We are just bringing more things to use. Just feeding people the idea that they are doing things for people." Heck no, they're not doing things for people. They are doing things to maintain people in their platform so that they can sell more ads.
Right. Users are their product, right? From an organic search point of view.
Well, this phrase I really like that people that are not working in tech don't understand is that if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. If you're not paying for something, you are the money making thing. Why? And people don't see that Google is free and say, oh, Google is free. Well. Then they're very happy about that. The same with Facebook and Instagram. They don't see that because we are giving them their attention, their data, many other data points and location, many other things that we could discuss in a separate podcast. If that's legal, should it be legal, whatever, that's moral or immoral, that's a different thing. But people don't see how we are providing them with so much data that's why they just manipulate us so easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As an SEO,
and no one is about Google or Instagram or Facebook or anything. It's just we are all humans.
As an SEO, are you anticipating a dip in organic visibility once SGE is rolled out, let's say globally?
Yeah, 100%. It's already happening. I have many industry friends that they are seeing in the how-to questions or in the why questions. Those type of queries, there is already a drop in visibility. Maybe I wouldn't say visibility, but in traffic, because you still have the impressions, but it's so far down. And even if you are in the first position organically, you are still 2-3 scrolls down, which is like position 9 3 years ago. So you get the impression, but no one clicks through.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting couple of months leading up to the release. I reckon it's going to be
brutal. not just interesting. Let's not be polite. It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be The only way that we will be able to come out of that is just by being very creative and just start to seeing the same issue from different angles, different perspectives. Use the data that we have to leverage what we can do. Because in SEO, what has always happened is that we are used to using recipes. We use recipes for a couple of years and things change, and then we complain. Oh, Google did this, Google did that. Well, you haven't changed. So it's not just Google that changed the rules of the game. You haven't changed, so you have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you die. So bring it on. It used to be that the change would happen, big changes would happen every 3 years. Now it's every 3 months. So get ready.
Yeah, indeed. I think the closer we get to the release, the more info we'll have, and then SEO will start to figure out how to navigate this new reality. When I think of SGE and also Bard is very interesting to me because it correlates content. And when you think about it, Google, they have like 25 years worth of data. And with that data set, they can use it to feed Bard to curate content for their users, searchers, right? So in theory, one could say, and this isn't me scaremongering SEOs or publishers, but in theory, one could say Google no longer needs websites to service their audience, which feeds into one of the reasons why they want to keep their users on the SERPs in the first place. Now, this is, when I think of content, this is me thinking of content in terms of text, right? If you like, the traditional way of content, which is what Bard services. But content is also imagery. Do you think we're going to be in a situation where we have a sort of like a Bard that creates or curates content from a design point of view? So are we going to see a Bard for imagery?
I would say no for the next 5 years. And I'm very, very adamant on that. There are different aspects to this. I insist on this because my company where I'm working right now, it sells creative assets. It's a middleman, but yeah, it has 15 million different creative assets. So it has been a concern for us. And I have spent a shit ton of time thinking about this. When it comes to SEO, to me, there will be a shift where there will be more and more people leaning towards getting the free type of asset. But free is not quality. If you want quality, you have to pay. And still, there is no way that we can monetize creativity to a way that could be to Google's scale. How do we monetize creativity that is exposed to 3 billion people on a daily basis? We still don't know. AI is not creative. What's creative is the human prompting it. Still, we are just we are human. Technology is advancing way faster than we can advance.
Yeah.
For someone like me, that I grew up without a cell phone, to me it still is weird to use a cell phone to call someone, to take photos, and I studied many of the things, and I understand how technology is built, and it's just wow. But creativity cannot be changed. That's what separates us from technology, from the AI. At least for now. That's why I'm saying 5 years. Let's see in 5 years. Let's revisit this conversation in 5 years. Maybe there is a whole cultural shift, and there's a different way to approach things. But the key to the point, the key to the question for me is that people still don't know how to ask questions. They don't know how to ask the right question. In this case, how to create the right prompt. Of course, you can play around. You can play around for half an hour, a couple of hours, or if you're very adamant, for a few days, and you will be able to create a really nice imagery, even videos. You could create songs, many things. But from that to actually being productionized at the scale of Google, I think we are far away. And also, we have to think how expensive that is to run at scale. Imagine opening up one of the many engines that are there for AI, opening up to 1 billion requests per day at a couple of dollars per request. That's at the servers, the cost of servers, the cost of electricity. It's just it. Of course, Google can pay. They can afford that. I mean, ChatGPT, when it was free, but entirely free, there was a calculation going around the internet that it was costing like 3 billion a year. But they can afford it. It's Microsoft. How can they can afford that? Yeah. Still, they need to make money. They can run with venture capital for a couple of years or maybe longer. But right now, I believe they haven't been able to monetize it. If not, we would all be paying for it. They are just, as I said earlier, they're just keeping the attention, the people's attention on their platform. And to me, Google released their AIs to the public unfinished and with hundreds of thousands of bugs because they are in the race with Microsoft. They are just a shareholder race to keep growing the value of the stock and making more money and all that. So, and the last thing that I want to say, that this is the most complex topic to me to talk, and complex topic to understand too, is the big chunk of the money for companies is in enterprise customers. So Google and Microsoft and the OpenAI and all those companies, they want to sell these things to companies, because companies, the smaller companies, those are the ones that will pay a big chunk of money up front. Big chunk, I'm saying in the millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands. People like you and I, hopefully in a couple of years, we can afford a couple of $1 million of a company. But for now, it's the companies. They want to sell the cutting edge or the most cutting edge technology to the companies so they can keep making way more money. The enterprise business is huge. We don't see it. If you're not in the enterprise business, you don't see it, but it's it's moving, I would say, even at the same amount of money as they do with just regular humans.
I'm curious to know what your thought, or should I say your definition of content is. Of course, everyone, if you ask them what is content, right, they have their own definition. I'm curious, what is content to you?
The short answer for that is whatever keeps your attention. The attention could be drawn to text, could be drawn to imagery, could be drawn to video, could be drawn to music, could be drawn to a combination of all that, could be drawn to just silence, whatever draws the attention of anyone. So that's content. Content, as we in SEO, we defined it like 5 or 6 years ago when they were saying content is king and yada, yada, yada. They were referring to text. Text will always be the king for text will be the king until we can come out with technology that is cheap enough for Google and all the search engines to process video and image cheaply. Google is already processing video and image. Obviously, come on, they own YouTube. they kind of have much more content than that. If they just process the audio and the video, it's just, why would they need us? But anyways, to me, content is anything that is on the website, anything that the human is putting their eyes on. I used that definition a year ago when I was giving a talk at one of the most amazing events ever. Sorry, this is not. I'm not doing a bit for them or anything. I just love them. I'm good friends with the organizer. This is an event called SEO on the beach, which is literally on the beach. It's just amazing. Siko, he's the best. He invited me to speak at the conference. It's just awesome, man. So I was talking there about crawl management optimization and many other things. And to me, the point that I wanted to put across is that content is everything that is on the site. Because people usually think we are conditioned to think that content is text. Yeah, it is text, but it's also other things. Yeah. This is content, what we are doing right now. This is freaking content, and this is what Google is ingesting and what people are searching for. If people are searching for, there will be a market. There will be someone that is delivering that. I have several friends, even my partner works in media, and the way that they understand that is that audience is the king. The companies and the industry does, and they do whatever the audience wants. And Google is doing the same. Google is, as a building on what I was saying a few minutes ago, it's about keeping the audience engaged. And you need to keep changing, you need to keep providing more and more content in whichever form they want to do it. If you don't change and if you don't provide content, you die.
Yeah. When I think of the way SEOs traditionally think of content, it's content, text. It's also targeting an audience that's based around keywords and non-branded keywords. In an area that we're going into AI and where AI can create content, how important is branding, in your opinion?
Well, if you're thinking purely as an SEO perspective, brand sucks because it's stealing the magic that we can do with SEO. But how important it is, it's massively important. If you have a product or a company and you want to be in that industry, in that service, in that area, niche, however you want to define it, for more than a year, a couple of years, or eventually for decades, you have to build your brand. Brand is everything. The way that we should think about it is how we convert the customer so they just stop doing non-branded searches. It's just maybe they are not typing the domain in Google. Maybe they don't have an app in their phone, but they know the brand. Once they know the brand, that person, that human is loyal to us, to the company. And that's what the whole product should be about. Acquiring a customer that way, that they know the brand. And eventually you can go and idolize it, dream even bigger and try to make your brand a verb like Google, just Google it or things like that. But that takes a gigantic amount of effort and a lot of luck, time to market, and many other things. So it's not about SEO. What do I think about AI and non-branded searches? It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. We are going to suffer, but it's going to be yet another shift in the way we do SEO. In 2012, people were up in arms because the update and the update this, the update that, penguin, and this is SEO has died. Come on. Yeah, they have been saying that SEO is dead since the inception of SEO.
Yeah,
pretty much.
every year.
And no, it's just if you don't adapt, you are gonna die. I'm sorry, I just realized that I've been saying that someone is gonna die. I want to say that it's because I want to be sensitive about this. It's not about death or anything. It's just your business is gonna struggle much more.
Yeah, I get you.
So again, to me, it's just struggle. It's going to be more challenging, and there will be some companies that it would be harder for them, but that's how the capitalism works. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's just not the right time.
Yeah, I think being able to adapt and adapt quickly is a key strength for SEOs, because we naturally think of improvements, right? So if something isn't working anymore, we look at it as an issue, and then we think of a way to improve. So I think when this new, when AI is widespread in search, it's going to be a case where SEOs are very much focused on improving either what's already there or adapting to changes. It'll be very interesting to see how informational based searches are with branded terms on there, because I noticed with SGE, informational based searches, there isn't a link to a site, right? So it seems as though Google just wants to pretty much own that and keep people on the SERPs. But is that going to be the case for informational based searches that have a brand name on there? That's going to be a very interesting study, I think.
Yeah, for sure. The way that I'm seeing it, the way that I have been seeing it for the last 5, 6, let's say 10 years, is that the cake that is to share, it's just the market is shrinking. Even though we can say that it's more people searching and many other things, but just the market is shrinking. The total addressable market that we have as companies, as anyone that is searching, is shrinking. Why? Because Google is just acquiring more and more and more, and it's not just taking away a size of that market. It's just shrinking it from the outside to inside. It's just getting the borders. And eventually it's going to squeeze us. Which that's where we need to be creative and start thinking different ways to acquire customers, different ways to put our brand out there, different ways to bring people to our website, or just manage a way for people to notice our brand. Maybe it's not about just putting our brand anywhere. It's just maybe it's indirectly. Maybe it's just doing actions that go on other websites. That it's just not about showing off that we as a brand, whichever brand it is, Nike or Adidas or I don't know, Tesla. It's not about showing that, but it's about showing indirectly that there are electric cars, the best electric cars or the best running shoes. Mm-hmm. And then indirectly show it, funneling people into your brand. I mean, I think that's already happening, but it's going to be more obvious in the next few years. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I have had some heat from industry friends is because my opinion is that AI is not new. Even more, AI it has been around before Google's existence, and many people I have heard people up in arms saying, "Oh, AI is going to destroy the industry. Oh, AI, Google is now using AI." Come on, Google has been using AI for decades, but no more than 2 decades. But yeah, Google has been using AI because it's the magic. It's part of making things at scale. I have no proof, but no doubt that Google is using AI. It makes sense. It makes sense that that's how they can build these things at such scale and grow this rapidly. Just now, simple mortals like us have a tool, have a UI to just do a little prompts and just have fun with it. But AI has been around. Has been there. If you just Google a little bit, you will find papers, you will find books written from 30, 40 years ago. Because this is science. It's not science that Google just decided, okay, I'm going to invent AI. Come on. They have invented several things, but it's not something that's that grand that you can do it that easily. Yeah, it's
interesting. Then why they're making it public? Why they're making AI public now? So, if your theory, and I think there's something to that, if AI has been around for a long time and it's been private, let's say internal within Google, and they are now making it public, why? Why now?
I believe, but I have two main ideas to this.
Sure. Yeah,
and I'm conscious of time.
No, go for it.
The first one, as I said earlier, is the eternal battle for shareholders' value. They need to provide value for their shareholders, for people to keep investing in the company, and all that capitalistic crap, which I subscribe. We are in a capitalistic world, so that's okay. The other thing, my opinion, is that they need to keep collecting data. And the best way to collect data is for giving people something to play around. Think about this. Let's say like 12 years ago, Google CAPTCHA was invented. There is a TED Talk about this. They wanted to solve the numbers, about the numbers because they were doing Google Maps and Google View, and they wanted a way so they can process the image and understand the numbers that were there. The numbers of the letters that they were finding when they were doing Google Street View. So they came up with a way, because it was very expensive to do it by hand or to do it by people, but actually hiring actual people, doing by computer. So they came up with a way. Okay, let's put this as a verifying identity, verifying that you're not a robot. And people will submit that. In this way, instead of paying, and you as a user, instead of paying with your data, with your information to validate that you are not a robot, it's just you're paying with your time. Those 3, 5, 6, 10 seconds that takes you to check all that. That's how Google were collecting data. Imagine doing that at scale, at 500 million, 1 billion people doing that. Then you have a big number theory, and then you have statistics and all that mathematical things that you can just start validating things, and it makes it easier. The same way with Because AI is not just something that happens. AI needs to be trained. How is it trained?
Yeah.
With information. And at the very beginning, the very base of it, it's just, okay, if you plug AI into Google servers, into Google's index, they have possibly the biggest library ever existed, or at least organized library. And then it gets to a point where, okay, you have information, but it's organized in a way. Is that the way that people want it? No, they need questions. Okay, so they can come up with some questions. They can use their own information, their own data, but they have also said that every day there's like 10% of their queries were never searched before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they need more data. They need more people. They need more human input. So yeah, this is my second point. To me, companies have made AI public so they can keep training their models for free, literally free.
That is a fascinating theory. It's one that I think we can definitely delve into, because I have the same sentiment around it. It's perhaps we can do like a follow up in a couple of months' time and explore AI a bit more, because this is an area to me that it stimulates my mind in a way that I haven't been excited about SEO in probably since the early years of when I got into SEO, because this is, to me, is just opening up the floodgates. I mean, like I said, it's changing literally everything for Google, for users and marketers. The three pillars that search is centered around. So it's a fascinating area for me. As someone who's
Definitely.
Go ahead.
No, it's just saying, yeah, to me, I am not someone that has played around AI that much. To me, it's just a little bit resistant, reluctant. I'm old in my soul. I'm just like the old man yelling at cloud, saying, "Oh, AI this, AI that." But yeah, I from a product perspective and from a customer engagement perspective, I understand why AI is important and all that. But I'm saying this just to put a pinch of salt on my opinions. It's just I haven't spent more than maybe 100 hours playing with AI or something like that. It seems like a lot, but it's just to get to understand the product. So maybe many of my opinions change, but I still believe that it's I would say it's for now it's just a shiny thing, that it's shiny, but it's a big ball of crap that is stinking all around the industry. We are going to hit a wall very, very quickly, losing money or losing our jobs, or just the companies is going to realize that creativity cannot be productionized like that.
Yeah, I think it's the expansion, the comprehensiveness of SEO is going to be heightened. I think changes will happen. But overall, I do think it's for the better for everyone. And Google, of course, they have to win and they have to maintain their market share. So this changes seems to be, inevitable. If I were to ask you, what do you wish every business knew about SEO? What would you say?
That you don't have to pay Google to do SEO. That's when I had a couple of years when I was a consultant, ended up founding my own agency and all that. That's a few years behind now. But the number one question that they were doing, the people that were reaching to me, were inquiring, they was like, okay, how much do I need to pay to be first? And my answer was, you don't have to pay anything. You have to work on your website. It's not about the wallet that you have, how much money you have. That is a separate type of business. That is a separate type of thing that you should be doing it too, as long as doing SEO. But I think that this is part of the evilness, geniusness of Google, of convincing businesses that they don't need to do SEO, they need to pay, which is awesome for them, for Google. But it's just for us, that is an extra added layer. And I think that, to me, is what makes it so fun and so entertaining. It's just challenging. I thrive in challenges. That's my engineering part. So yeah, if you allow me, a different thing that I would say to businesses, assuming that they know that SEM is one thing and SEO is another thing, to me is just trying to do with your website, trying to do something that people want to use. Because SEO, you can't bring people. SEO, my opinion is that we are good at bringing people in. Traffic is easy to get, relatively easy. But if people get to your website, to your product, or whatever they are landing, and what they are finding is shit, no one is going to buy shit. Plain and simple. So all your money, all your efforts should be put in having a killer website, a killer product that people want to use. I have turned down many potential clients saying, "Hey, work on your website." There's no way you're gonna throw money at something that's not gonna work. You're gonna bring people in, and they're not gonna convert. Don't spend money in SEO right now. Spend money in improving your website. Yes, at the very beginning you have to have the basics in SEO and everything, but you could have the best SEO in the world, but if your product is shit, it's gonna be shit.
Well said. Gaston, thanks a lot for your time. Is there anything? Is there anything you'd like to promote or give a shout out to?
Honestly, no. I haven't thought about this. If you allow me to use a couple of seconds of your platform, sure. I'm a big believer of. This is not about SEO, but it's aligned with my values. I'm a big believer of mental health. I want to use these couple of seconds to tell people two things. Go out for a walk and drink more water. Those two things are really, really good for us, even more in this time of this, how we've evolved as humans, that we spend all of our time in closed doors. Just get up and drink water. Not coffee, not tea, water. Plain water. That is a good cleanser, and most likely your day is gonna improve a lot.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Gaston.
Thanks for the space.
Thank you. Pleasure. Have a brilliant day. We'll catch up again another time.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers. Bye now.
Bye.